In other news, a federal crackdown on immigration is now affecting some students at the U of I. A spokesperson couldn't share how many people are impacted, but says more than 12,000 students from around the world attend the university. In a joint letter from Chancellor Jones and the provost, they say the International Student and Scholar Services Office has reached out to those affected. They're monitoring the status of students and scholars. One Parkland student, originally from South Korea, says this news is a bit scary.
Mostly nervous about it. I'm just hoping that I can just concentrate on study, not worrying about any revoking visas or something like that.
Says he wants to transfer to the U of I next year and study civil engineering.
Up on visa issues affecting international students at colleges across the country. Now EIU has confirmed some of their students have been impacted. It comes after several executive orders cracking down on immigration and anti-Semitism. The university didn't say how many students have had their visas revoked. A spokesperson says they are offering resources to students, including legal and mental health support. Since March, more than 1,000 students at 160 colleges have had their legal status revoked.
The Trump administration is cracking down on student visas with reports of revoked visas for some international students on 2 area college campuses. NBC5's Randy Gyllenhaal with reaction from Evanston tonight.
A dreary day in Evanston, unease at Northwestern as the campus navigates 2 blows from the Trump administration.
Today, a lot of people were talking about it in classes, about the funding cuts.
Possible funding cuts, and today Northwestern confirming some international students had visas revoked, saying the Department of Homeland Security terminated the visa status of a limited number of current and former students.
If you're in a college campus, it's supposed to be a place where you're battleground of thoughts and ideas, and you would hope that anyone, regardless of whether they're an international student or a domestic student, will be able to express their beliefs.
The campus was the scene of large pro-Palestinian protests last year, something the Trump administration has been targeting.
Doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus. We're not going to give you a visa.
And now the university faces a possible freeze on federal funding. $790 million could be withheld from the Trump administration. It would affect things like grants, research, and graduate students. University officials say they have not heard directly from the administration, while professors here worry about job cuts and lost research.
This is a crisis for sure. We are being essentially extorted by the federal government that's lying to the American public.
Across town, the University of Chicago, also the site of anti-Israel protests, says 3 of their students and 4 graduates had visas pulled. The reason is unclear, and ICE has not responded to our requests as immigration attorneys are fielding frantic phone calls.
I'm not even sure yet how to advise my clients. I've had a couple of calls.
Nationwide, dozens of schools reporting similar visa trouble. Those students would be forced to leave the country. Randy Gyllenhaal, NBC5 News.
And more international students nationwide face deportation after having their student visas revoked by the federal government. KVUE is working to learn more about why and what comes next for these students. KVUE's Brianna Perez joins us now in studio with more on this developing story. And Brianna, I know you've been looking into this.
Oh yes, Quita. And the Trump administration now faces several federal lawsuits over these visa changes. So we've been working to get answers from university leaders and federal agencies. And here's what we've learned. Leaders with the UT system told KVUE as of Friday they have had 176 students affected across all of their campuses. In San Marcos, a spokesperson for Texas State tells us 2 students have been affected there. And the Texas State University system, which also covers campuses like Lamar University and Sam Houston State, has had 10 students affected. And leaders with the Texas A&M system tell our partners at the Austin American-Statesman across their campuses they have had 38 students affected. We reached out to federal agencies multiple times to find out why we're seeing more visa statuses changed. They haven't given specifics on any cases. In a recent press briefing, State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce said the reasons for revocation are personal and private. According to ICE's website, visa terminations can happen for a number of reasons, like being absent from the country for 5 months, school expulsion or suspension. If a student's visa gets revoked, they'll be notified and typically get 10 days to leave the country voluntarily.
There has been some kind of information that we really don't know why some of these students' visa have been canceled, even though they are not part of a protest or they have not been involved in any kind of manifestation.
Immigration attorney Iris Albizu says she has seen more people worried about their visas. So it's important to explore other kinds of visas or programs and create a plan with your school for how you can continue your studies if your status gets terminated.
You start being diligent about what you can do to basically explore those options, before you actually have the problem on top of you, to start being diligent and try to find a solution before.
Albizu says if you have been impacted, it is best to have a consultation with an immigration attorney and see if you qualify to file an injunction.
I have some late payments on my credit report.
Stacey Skrazek, Eliza has the night off. New at 9, some international students at the U of I could be sent home after the federal government revoked their visas. Brianna Moreland has the University of Illinois' reaction and the help that they're offering those students. Brianna?
The University of Illinois is home to over 12,000 international students. In a letter, U of I leaders revealed that some of those students and scholars have had their immigration status revoked without warning. As a result, those affected must stop working, stop attending in-person classes, and leave the country.
But to go after a student for making a statement at a rally, to me, smacks of violations of the basic values of this country. I think we shouldn't go to extremes in this situation unless a person is dangerous, and in that case, they ought to be invited to leave.
The university says terminations can happen for different reasons, like changes in immigration status or failure to maintain status requirements. Ricardo Diaz with the New American Welcome Center commended the university for its preparedness.
Well, the administration, the department that we interface with has been prepping for this for years, in the sense of the first administration of President Trump already gave us an indication of where these things might go.
Diaz emphasized the emotional toll on these students.
Leaving so suddenly without knowing why is really devastating. For the students to have to basically rework their career, especially the more advanced they are, it's not easy to transfer and to restart or to even leave it alone.
I reached out to the University of Illinois for an interview. They sent a statement saying, students at many institutions of higher education, including the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, are being affected. Out of student privacy concerns, we are not sharing specific information, but we are working directly with affected students to help them connect with appropriate resources and understand their options. Diaz says that finding the right legal help can be a challenge, but the university provided a list of local and national organizations to support students. Working for you, I'm Brianna Moreland.
Thanks, Brianna. Now, currently, there's no word yet on exactly how many students are being impacted. To see the full release from the University of Illinois, head over to our website, foxillinois.com. Now, this comes after many instances of the U.S. government revoking international student visas. Students from Columbia and Harvard had their visas revoked for leading pro-Palestinian protests on campus. However, some international students at the University of Missouri have gotten their visas revoked for minor infractions like speeding tickets.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and